Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss one more data type, which is the string. So we have already covered Boolean data type and the integer data type. So we have also seen how to use the integer and how to do some manipulation on the integer and float data type. And we have also seen how we can take the user input, how to declare variables, how to do a print statement. In this video, it will be a continuation to the string data type. So we will be doing some transformations in today's video, and then we will also discuss about the other functionalities, how to do a replace and all, and then we will also see about the validation. So without any delay, let's get started with today's video related to the string data type. Okay, so what we will be discussing today is the first function that we have, which is replace. In replace, if you will see, if I have a date 2026 05 20, so this is in DD, MM and YYY format, right? So now this can also be written as 2026-05 and 20, depending on what type you are using. Now in the use case, if a column is having this data type, but I want it in the final output as this data type, how exactly will you be doing it? So what you can do is you can go ahead and use the replace function. In the replace function, first of all, you have to mention what is your old string that you want to replace and with what particular new string you want to replace it with. So in our case, the old string is slash and I want to replace it with hyphen. So how will I write? I will replace this particular thing, that is my slash, with hyphen. So this particular slash will be replaced by hyphen. So what I will do is I'll just replace this. It actually replaced everything. So it will be replaced like this. Okay, so this is my final output. So once you replace it, there are multiple use cases of replace. So let me show you what all use cases you can find in the replace functionality. So first of all, I will print, or I will just assign the dates is equal to 2026/05/20, and I want to replace this dates this particular old string with my new string. Okay, so I will put this inside the string because this string is your date, because all these functions we are learning is in the string, right? So this is my 2026-05-20. So this is my output, that is with hyphen, right? So this is my old string and this is my new string. So if you talk about the use case here, let's say I have a price. In the price, I'm having the dollar symbol, then 1 comma 245. Okay, so this is my string. Now everywhere the price will not be in comma separated, right? It could be that it is, this comma is a decimal point. So what you can do is you can do a print and you can mention the price. With the price, you do a replace. You mention what is the old, that is comma, and what is the new that you want to put is in decimal. So let's print this. So here you have $1.245. So this is one use case. But let's say in this price, I don't want the dollar and I don't want the comma, right? So I just want to replace this with 1245 itself. So how will I do that? So I'll do a print inside the price dot replace. First of all, I will remove the dollar symbol. Okay, I'll remove the dollar symbol with nothing. So that is an empty, right? So if I go ahead and do a print for this, so what does it say? Dollar is being removed and we are getting 1245. Now, if in case I have to replace the 1245 in which I have the comma with a space or without a space, I just need to remove the comma. What I can do is I can do a replace again, and I want to remove my comma with nothing. Okay, and I want to run this. So now you see the special character is removed and the comma is also removed. So this is one use case of replace function. Now, I will go ahead and let's say I have a phone number in which I have 44 567 2089. Now I want to go ahead and remove the hyphen in it because the column doesn't require a hyphen. It requires it like an integer format. Then in that case, what you can do is you can replace the hyphen with nothing, right? So how we can do is using replace, I will mention hyphen and I'll replace hyphen with nothing, right? But I have this particular text now, that is phone. I will be replacing the phone with hyphen is replaced with nothing. So now you will see all the hyphens are being removed. Now let's take up a challenge on this. So let's say I have a phone number plus 44 and then I have 20 105 and then I have a hyphen 4098765. Okay, this is a dummy data of the phone number. Now you want to replace this as 4044205 4 205409875, right? I want it like this. So take up this challenge and see if you can go ahead and solve this replace functionality, right? Now let's see the next thing that we have, that is the concatenation of two particular string. So how will you do that? So I have a equal to hi, b equal to I am learning Python, C equal to 2025. So let me mention in year 2025, right? So if I have to print it, what I can do is I can do A plus B plus C. So it's going to type, hi, I am learning Python in year 2025, right? So this is my concatenation of the three strings. Now let's say if I have this year in integer format, if I am going to run this print a plus b plus c, see it's giving me an error saying can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So what it means is there are two variables a and b which are string, but c is an integer. So you cannot concatenate a variable which is having a string and a variable which is having an integer. All of them should be a string data type. So in order to fix this out, either you put the quotation here as we had it before, or you change the data type of C here directly with the help of the str, which we already have covered it, right? So now it is giving me the result. So now the easier way to do here is using a function here which is called f string. So if I do an f string and put a quotation, right, and then I'll write a, that is a, and then I'll write b, and then I will write c. So it will give me the result. See, it's written, hi, I am learning Python in the year 2025. Now if you will see, C is still an integer data type. This is an integer. If I write print type of C, it's going to give me an integer data type, right? So even if it's an integer data type, still it has concatenated the string with integer. Why? Because using the f string, which is f, and then this is the quotation, using the f string, it treats every character which is inside the variable as a string. So you have to mention it as a string. So this variable needs to be present inside the curly braces, and the rest can be written hard coded. Let's say I will write, so I will complete this here. Okay, so I'll just run this particular thing. So see, I have hard coded this, but still it is giving me the result. So I will complete this here, right? So the data is coming, whatever hard coded you want, you put it inside the S string, and whatever variables you want, you put it inside the curly braces. And if it's a different data type, it is going to give you the print statement, the result, rather than giving you an error. This is a modern way, an easier way to write the print statement. Okay, so let's go with the next topic that we have. So the next topic here is the split. So if you will see in the first one, we have here split, which is having hyphen. And in the second one, we are having hyphen with space. And in the third one, we are having some commas, right? So we need to go ahead and split it in such a way that we are having each word in separate column. So in the first one, what we need Shilpa in my first column, then we need our age, then we need in which city he or she is living, and then what is the country. So we need all the four things separately, and we don't need the hyphen. So in this case, if we do a split, what happens is it goes ahead and split it by hyphen, and it gives us a list which is in comma separated. Don't worry if you don't know what is a list. So basically this string gets converted into a list which is comma separated, and each value is different. Now this is the first value which we denote as 0. This is first, this is second, and this is the third value. If we split it using the split function, if we split this particular with space, then what we have to write, we are splitting, let's say, the date, and this date is splitted by the space, right? And it will split this part and this part. So this will be my first part, which will be the element 0 in the list, and this will be my second part, which will be my element 1. In list, what happens is the numbering doesn't start with 1, it starts with 0. So if you will see here, the numbering is actually starting with 0, and then 1, then 2, then 3. That's how the numbering does in case of the split. Now you may also get a CSV file like in the point number 3. In the CSV file, everything, if you will see, is comma separated, right? And this one is in one column, but we want to separate them in multiple columns. 12 will be in one column, max will be in another, Delhi will be another, India will be another, and the date will be in another column. So for that, again, you can use the split. So how you will do it? Just use the split here, right? So you have your CSV dot split, and how you want to split? You want to split it by comma, right? So you will get every element in separate columns, and it will be in the list format so that you can extract it. So we will see the extraction part as well in the later stage, but let's understand the split and let's do the practicals for this. So let me go ahead and increase the font size, and let's do a split. So I will start with the date. Okay, I'll start with today date, which is equal to 2025 slash 09 slash 18, and the time right now is 8:39. Okay, so this is my date. So I will convert it into a string format. Now I want to split it so that I have my date part and then I have my time part separately. So what I can do is I can do x is equal to today date dot split. And how I want to split this? I want to split it by the space, right? So now I will do print of x and see what the result is. So you will see here, this is my result data set. That is 2025 918 is my first part, then a comma, and this is my second element. So this is my first element, this is my second element. So it's split it by comma, right? Now let's say I have a CSV data. In the CSV data, as I was mentioning, I have multiple things. Let's say I have my ID, then I have the name, and then I have, let's say, the cost along with the country, and then the the state, and then the country. Now I want to divide them into multiple parts so that I can put all the data into separate columns. So what I can do is I can do a print, and right here I want to split what? I want to split my CSV data and dot split. If you see, I have done split and it gives you the parameters that you can add into the split function. That is the separator and the maximum split. You can also use split lines. That is a different thing. So in the split, I want to split it by comma, right? And let's go ahead and print this. So let me just go ahead and print it to separate it out. So now I have this data. If you will see, each element is splitted by comma. So it's 12, then Shilpa, then 1200 Delhi and India, right? So every element is splitted and it converts it into a list format. Okay, so this is how you can use a split function. So now you see it is in a list. Now if you talk about other functions, how we can do it in list, how you can do some data manipulation in list, we will cover it in a separate video. So the next topic that we will be having is the indexing and the slicing. So let's go ahead with the indexing and the slicing. So in this, if you will see, there are total 4 letters, right? In case of a string and in a programming language, the first letter is denoted by 0, the second letter is denoted by 1, the third is 2, and the fourth is 3. So it starts with 0. So this is called the positive index. Now, in Python programming language, there is another concept which is called the negative index. So what does negative index means? It will start from the right side and it will start with -1 and then -2 and then -3 and -4. This is called the negative index. So if you think about the positive and negative index, this is required in order to fetch the value, the characters of the string. So let's say I want to get the G from the S variable, right? So how I can do it? I can write S and put a bracket, and I want to get the first element, so which is 0. So this will give me the result G. Now I want to get my second element. So second element is actually S of 1. This is my second element, right? So this is my second element. So how will I get it? Using S of 1. Now I want to get my third element. Third element is denoted by 2. So I'll get it S of 2. Now I want the fourth element, which is S of 3, which is D. Okay. So now if I want it in the reverse order, so let's say I want my D letter and I want using the negative index. So I will use S of -1, which will be D, S of -2, which will be O, S of -3, which will be again O, and S of -4, which will be again G. So if you think, if you have a very long character. Let's say engineering, right? So in this engineering, there are how many letters? There is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So if I have to count, there are total 10 letters. So in this, if I have to get the last letter, I have to write S of 10, right? And that S of 10 will be G. So if I have to get R, then it will be like S of 7, right? So I have to count where exactly it is coming. It becomes difficult if it's a very large word. So to become this thing easier, we have negative index. So in negative index, G becomes -1. So you don't have to count everything from the first to last. So what I can denote here is S of -1, which is actually S of G. So that is an advantage that Python provides if you are trying to grab the last letter of the string. So that will be S of -1. Now, if you want to grab the first letter, that is S of 0, right? So that's how the indexing works. So if you know now what is an index, index starts with 0, first thing, and then if you also have a positive index, you also have a negative index. Now if you talk about slicing, now let's say instead of one letter, I want both G and O. So to get G and O, what I need to do is I want to grab my first letter, that is 0, first index, and then I want to grab the second index, that is 1. So what I will do is I want till this much, right? So I will be taking the next index, that is my second index. So here I will be writing 2. So let me write here 2. So what it means here is this is my starting point and this is my ending point, right? So this denotes start and this denotes end plus 1. So 2 is not taken into account. Whatever is there, it will count 0 and 1. So whatever values are there in index 0 and 1, it will give you the output. It will not give you the output for 2. So you have to write end plus 1, that is 0 till 2. Okay. Now let's say I want O and D. So what will be the case? I have from S. So my first index O, that is I want it from this, right? The second O, not the first O. If I need O and D, I'll start with 2. Okay, I'll start from this and then I'll end 3. Okay, so now here I will write 2 and I will end till 3, but I will write it 4. It means it will be O and D. Now the same thing I can do with a negative index. So how I can do a negative index? I want to start with -2 and then end it with -1, right? So that's how I do it with negative index. So that's called slicing. There is one more thing here if I talk about. It is having 4 letters. If I need all of them, I'll just write S and I'll start with 0 and put a colon and keep the last part empty, right? If I keep this last part empty, it means from start till end, it will give me the result. That is good. Now, if I want S, I want from the first till end, then it will write OOD, right? So that's how the indexing and the slicing works. So let's go to our practicals and see how it works. Okay, so let's say our text here is Python. Okay, now I will be calculating the index. So P is 0, right? Y is, let me write it here to understand. This is 0, then we have 1, then we have 2, then we have 3. Let me put some spaces. Y, T, H, O, N, right? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. Okay, I will comment both of them. Okay, so this is my index. P is 0 till N is equal to 5. Now I want to print the first letter. Okay, so let me write it here. The first letter is So if you notice, I am using the f string method here. So the first letter is P, right? Now I will write the second letter. In the second letter, I will grab the first index, that is Y, okay? So now my second letter is Y, right? And then I will grab, let's say, the fourth letter. So that is actually the fifth letter, right? And as per the Python programming, this is the fourth letter. So I have grabbed O. Now I have to grab the last letter. If I have to grab the last letter, I have to put the index of the last. So this is my positive index. So if you will go ahead and see this, I have the positive index. Now, let's go ahead and try to solve this using the negative index. So, if you will see what will be the negative index here, it will be the -1. The last letter will be my negative index, which is my -1, right? Now, the second last index here will be -2, right? So, let me write it here, the -2. So my second last letter is -2, right? So now you are understanding how you can use -1 and -2. So this is actually called the index, right? The indexing. Now if I have to go ahead and get the first two letters, so what I will do is print in the f string itself, I will use first two letters. Okay, inside the first two letters, I will use text and I will use the slicing function. So what does slicing function means? I'll start from 0. I want the first letter, which is 0 here, and then I will be using the first. So this is my first, but I will not use 1. I have to slice it, right? Once you slice it, then only you get the left part of it, right? If you slice it here, then you will just get 0. So if you slice it here, then only you will get both the parts. So what I will do is 0 till 2, right? So you get P and Y, both the letters. Now, if in case I want to go ahead and do the same with the negative index, okay, so I will use the other part, that is O and N. So I will use -2, and here I'll use -1, let's say. So I'll use -3 and -1. Okay. So you see, I get H, O and N. So here it is slice. It starts with -3 and then it ends till -1, right? And -1 is not included because the last part is not included. It starts with -3 and ends at -2. Okay. So if I show you here, so this is my -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1. So this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, this is -5, and this is -6. So if you want till H and O, you have to use this -1 so that you get only 2 letters. If you want till N, then you can just remove this and you will get till N, right? Now, let's see if I need all the characters from PY till T, 0, 1 and 2. So for 0, 1 and 2, what I need to do is I want to do F string, that is PYT, okay? I'll just write it like this, and inside this I have my text. I'll start with what? 0, and I will end with 3, right? So this is from 0 till 3. I'm getting 0 till 3, right? Now, if I need all the characters starting from 1 till N, right? That is starting from this Y, T, H, O, N. Then what I will do, I'll start with 1. I can write till 6, right? This will give me the result. That is Y, T, H, O, N. Or what I can do here is, I can remove this 6 and I can keep it as it is. If I removing the 6 and keeping it blank, it means it will start with 1 and it will end till the end of the string. Let's say the string is a very large word, right? For example, engineering itself, right? And I don't want to count. I just want to take it from the first letter and till the end. So it will give you the end. If I want all of them, I'll just remove the first part and the last part, and it's going to give me all the characters of the string, right? So this is how you can do it. Now the next part that comes here, very interesting part is, let's say I want to skip some letters and I want to skip from 2. So what I will do is, I want from 0 and I will end till 6, but I want to skip one letter in between. So that is called step. So this is my start point, this is my end point, and this is my step. So let's see what the result gives. So you see it gives PTO. It means it started with P, that is 0, then it ends with N, right? But then it skips 2, means it skips one letter here. So then it is T, and then it skips H, and then it writes O, and then it skips N, but there is nothing after N, so it doesn't give you any other result. So this is how you can do a step, and you can use and to skip some letters. You want 0, then you want 2, then you want 4. So this will help you basically required when you want some even number or you want an odd number. This will really help you in getting the acquired result. So this is the indexing and the slicing. This is commonly used in everyday purpose. What you can also try with one more thing, very common, which is the date. So let me write here print, and I will use one more thing, which is date. So I'll use the T function here. Let's say this is 2025, 06 and 19. Okay. And I want to go ahead and give the time 12 and 30. So if you will see, we have already splitted this up, right? But in this case, now I want to go ahead and get the year, that is 2025. There are two ways. Either you split it and grab the first letter. So what I mean is, I want to first print. In the print, I will do T dot split. I want to split it by hyphen. Okay. If I do T dot split, you will see it will split and it will give you the result 2025, 06, 19 and 12 and 30, right? This is my date part and this is my time part. But if you will see, there is no hyphen, comma between it. So the date and time is coming in one, right? But we are not interested in it. We are just interested in the year part. So what I can do is, I can go ahead and grab the first index out of this. So if you will see, it gives you the result, that is 2025. This is one way in which you are converting into a list and then grabbing the first element of the list. There's another way to do it. Because this is a string, what you can do is, you can do a print, and in the print, year is, in the year, I'll mention the variable, that is T, right? And I want from 0 till 5. That is 0 till 4 I want, right? So if you will see, the 2 is 0, then this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So I want till this much. So I'll start from 0 and I will end till 4. So if you will see, it will return 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So let me execute this. So you see the year is 2025. Okay. So this is the year that it goes. So I have included 4. Why? This is my 4th character and I don't want to include this. I just want to include till 5. So here the slicing will happen, right? So that's why I have included 4. Similarly, you can count after this 4. This is 5 and this is 6, right? So let me go ahead and print the month. This is the 5th and I want it till 6th. So I will write 7 so that I get 0 and 6. Okay, this is how you get the date and time if you want to calculate as per the string. And if you want the time which is in the last part, what you can do is you can get time is, and in the T you mention here that it starts with -1, right? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so I want till -5. So I'll start with this till -1. So if you will see till -1, here it is 0, so it has eliminated it. So this is my result. Okay, or I can just remove this and it will give me the result. Okay, this is my result data set. Now you understand how to use split, how you can go ahead and do an indexing and slicing over the string operation. Now we will come across another functionality, which is the strip. So let's go ahead with the strip. So strip means in order to remove spaces, if you are trying to remove some spaces from the word, you use the strip function. So let's take an example. I have a word morning and there are some spaces in the beginning and at the end, and I want to remove those spaces. In order to remove the first space, that is the left side, I can use an lstrip function. And if I have to remove the right space, then I use an rstrip function. And if in case I have anything that is both, I want to remove the left and right, then I just use the strip function, which will make sure to remove both from the left and right side of the particular word. And in this particular case, why is it important? It is important because when you are actually giving any user input, then you have to actually remove the spaces and then put it, because just by your eye you will not be able to know whether there is any space or not, right? So that's why you can use the strip function in order to remove the spaces. It's not only the spaces, but you can also use any other character which are present in the word in the left side and right side in order to remove. For example, I have a phone number that is 9124567891, right? And I want to remove these 4 characters. So in some cases, wherever there is some PII information, then you are actually removing those and actually masking them up. So let's say if this is being masked by the hash, okay, and I don't need this particular thing, I just need this to be inserted into my data. So if I have to remove this, what I can use is I can use my rstrip, because I know it is in the end, and I can mention what will be my function. The function name will be the hash that I actually want to remove, right? So let's go into the practical and see how exactly this works. So we will start with the strip. In the strip, let's say I have my text is equal to morning, okay, and I want to print the text without the space that is there in my left side. So if I do this, I'll do text dot l strip. So if I just write L, it's coming, right? So I will just do text dot l strip. So if you will see, the space is removed from the left side. Let's say I will do the right strip, that will remove the space from the right side. See, it has removed the space in the right side, but it has kept it on the left side already. And if I do a print and I will do a strip, it's going to remove both from the end and left, right? So let me do one thing. I will mention this inside a variable L, okay? And then I will mention the same thing with the right, that is R space. So here I will do an R strip and here I will just do a strip, right? Why I am doing this? Because here it becomes difficult to actually analyze whether their spaces has been removed or not, right? So if I, let's say, have the hash here, okay, and I will mention a hash here as well. Now I want to remove the hash. So I can mention the hash here. I can mention hash here as well, and I can mention hash. So let's see what the result data set it actually shows. So you see, in the first part where we have the lstrip, this is our lstrip result. It has removed the hash from the left side, and the rstrip, it has removed the hash from the right side, but it has kept on the left side. And the strip hash, it has actually removed from left and right both, right? Now, let's say I don't have this hash and I have this space itself, right? And I want to go ahead and see whether my space has been removed or not. So how will you validate it? It's a very big question, because by seeing in your eyes, you will not be able to know whether the space has been removed or not, as we were seeing in the previous screen that it was very difficult to understand. So now for that, what I will do is I will calculate the length. The length becomes, or let's say the value is equal to, I'll calculate the length of the text. So we have learned how to calculate the length. So I'll put it original as the value. After strip, what is my length? So I will use the SP itself. What is my length of it? Okay. Now I'll do a print. In the print, I will calculate the original minus after strip. So before that, let's print both the cases. That is original and after strip. Okay, then we will calculate what is my original and after strip length, so that we know whether the spaces has been removed. So original length is 9, after strip is 7. What is the difference? There were 2 spaces, so we have removed both the spaces. Okay, so I'll do a print. The clean text is this. So clean text is having 2 letters, right? Now, one more thing is that if you want to just check whether the original strip is actually matching the after strip, what you can do is you can write an if-else statement. If original is equal to after strip, print data is clean, else print clean the data. So let's execute this. So it says you have to clean the data, because original strip is not equal to after strip. Then you are actually cleaning the data with the help of the strip function. Okay, so now you understand how to do the strip. Now the next thing, which is a very interesting thing that we will go ahead and see, is the repetition. That is repetition. So in repetition, what you do is, let's say I have T is equal to HA, right? And I want to print T. Okay, I want to print T, T, T. Let's see. Okay, so it will not allow me that. So I'll just print here my values T, and then again T, and then again T, and then again T. Okay, so now I am printing all the values here. That is HA 4 times I want to print. See, it's ha 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 ha, right? So it is printing 4 times. So if you have to print 10 times, are you going to write it like this? Again, and then again, and then again? No, right? There should be a simpler way to do it. So the simpler way here is, if I do T is equal to HA and then multiply it by, let's say, 2. Okay, then I'll just comment this out. Then I will just print this T. It should give me 2 times HA and HA. So you see, it's written HA and HA. It's giving me 2 times, right? If I, let's say I want 10 times this HA and HA, then it's going to give me 10 times. Ha 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 ha, right? So now, what is the use case of it? If you have to write it multiple times, you multiply it by 10, 4, 5 and all. So let's say if you are calling an API and you want to go ahead and sleep it for 5 seconds, you multiply it by 5, right? But if you are having a string and you want to do it, so if you have seen in my previous year, I have this minus sign here to differentiate it. So what I used to do is, I used to do it like this. I'll just write it 10 times or 15 times, whatever it is, right? So it's going to give me this symbol. So instead of that, why don't I go ahead and do it like this? And then multiply it by 10. So it will give me the same result. See, 10, let me make it 20, right? So it's going to give me the same result. So I don't have to write it multiple times. So I can just multiply it by that time and it is going to give me the result. So that's a use case. You don't have to keep on writing the same thing again and again. So this is called the repetition of the value or the string. Okay, so we have covered the strip and we have covered the repetition. The next thing that we have is the case sensitive. As you know, the Python is actually case sensitive. So you have to convert an uppercase to lowercase and lowercase to uppercase. So how exactly will you do that? So the next topic that we have is case sensitive. So now let's say I have language as Python and language 2 is equal to Java. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and convert the first letter, that is the first word Python, to uppercase. So I'll do language dot upper. So if you will see language dot upper, it's going to give me Python. So it has converted the Python language into uppercase. Now I want to convert this to lower, that is language 2 to lower. So it's going to convert the uppercase to lower. So let's say I have only the first letter as first letter of Java, right, as lower, right, and the rest as upper. Is it going to go ahead and change? See, it is converting everything into lower, but the lower letter remains as it is, right? Now, in this case, if I have language 3 is equal to Python, what is the use case of this? We can check if language is equal to language 3. Okay, so I can go ahead and print language is equal to language 3. So it will give me a Boolean result, whether true or false. So this is true, right? If I go ahead and make P capital, so it is going to give me false, right? So the use case is here, if in case the user inputs it in lowercase and we want it in uppercase, then the things will not match. This condition is going to fail. So in that case, you have to convert this particular language, let's say 3, into lowercase, and then only it's going to match. So language is equal to language 3, so it's going to give you the true value. Okay, so this is how exactly you use the language and the upper and the lower case letters. So in a CSV file, if we are trying to grab some letters or some word, and if you are passing that word and it doesn't match, then it is not going to give you the final result. So you make sure that it's case sensitive and you're putting the upper and lower case in order to match your word, right? So that's a use case of the lower and upper. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic that we have. So the next topic that we have is the search functionality. Search is very important in string. If you are doing the data manipulation, it's actually really required. So in search, you can have three functionality. There are many more. So how you can start? So let's say in search, you have a particular date. Let's say I'll just write it 2026-05-02. Okay, and I want to go ahead and see whatever sales we are doing, it is in the year 2026. So I can search for this 2026 year, right? And I have to search it. How I can go ahead and search it? I can search it using this method, which is called start with. So this is my T, okay, and this is my start with. So what I can do is using t dot start with, and I'm putting my value, that is the year here, and if in case this year is existing and it starts with 2026, then it will give you the result, right? So this is going to give you the result true, right? And if in case it ends with 20, it is going to give me the true. Otherwise, it's going to give me false. There is another method here which is called in. In, let's say you have an email address and you want to see if in case that email address is valid or not. For that, you are using the in keyword. So what you can do is you can mention whether the at is mentioned in the email or not, right? This is how you can actually see whether the email is valid or not. There is one more method here that is basically the find keyword. So it's going to find whether a particular character is present in your string or not. Okay, so that is the thing. So let me write it. This is the find method. In the find method, I can go ahead and see that I want to find, let's say, hyphen. So it's going to give me, yes, find is present, and it's going to give me that particular index, or it's going to give you the true, right? So let's go ahead and see this particular thing in action. So what we are going to see is the search functionality. In the search, we will first see, let's say I have an email that is abc@gmail.com, and I want to see if in case I have the email correct. Let's say I want to see the print statement, and I will put email dot, if it starts with, like, I want to see whether that email is of ABC person, right? So I'll just mention if it starts with ABC, right? Then it will give me the result. So if we go ahead and see email dot start with, what it says, string object has no attribute start with. Let me see if I have made a spelling mistake here. Starts with, right? So here we have ABC. So it will give me the result true. Yes, it starts with ABC. I'll write DEF, then it will say, no, it's not starts with DEF. Similarly, if I go ahead and print, and I will do ends with, and I'll just DEF, it should give me false. See, it has given me false. Now let's say if I say it ends with, I'll just put a variable ends with, okay, ends with .com. So it should return, yes, it's ending with .com, right? So that is the use case of starts with and ends with, right? Or I can see if in case that particular email is actually a Gmail or not, right? If in case it's Gmail, then I want to extract that particular value maybe. So it is the gmail.com. Now, the next thing that I want here is I want to find that whether the at is present or not. Here we are checking the start with, means the letter should start and end. But if in case it's in the middle, how you can check it? So for that, we have in middle. So how you can do it? You can do email. So what you can do is the at in, right? So let's see. So this is how you do it. You put the string that you want to go ahead and check it in the middle, whether it is true or false. That is at an email. So if I go ahead and run this, it will say in middle Yes, it is in middle, which is true. So it gives you a boolean as the output. But let's say I don't want the boolean as the output. I want to see in which index the at symbol is coming up, right? So for that, I will do print and then the index in which at is there. Okay. So for that, what I will do, I will use my email dot a find keyword. And what I want to find? I want to find at. Okay, I want to find at. So for that, if I run it, you see index in which at is there is 3. So why exactly find is useful if you will find this? Let's say I want to get gmail.com. So first of all, I have to find the index of at. What is the index of at? And after that, I have to get the next part, that is gmail.com. So this is a challenge for you. You have to find gmail.com. And how will you find it? So just as a hint, you have to first go ahead and find the at keyword. What is the index? Add something, okay, and then get the rest part of it. Okay, we have already learned how to do a slicing, right? So give it a try how you can do get the gmail.com, right? Now let's say I have a phone number, right? And I want the phone number can be in different format. Let's say +44, then -222, then 8765. Or I can have the phone 2 as 44 hyphen 222 hyphen 8764. Okay, so these two format can be present in your data. So these are not consistent data, but you have to, let's say, only get the country code, that is 44, right? So how will you do it? Either you split it by hyphen and get the first part of it, that is one way, or you go ahead and do a slicing operator. You go ahead and find this is the 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So you get the other. So let me write it down. So print and then phone. In this, I want to get from 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I want to get the 3 characters of it. And for the next print, I will get the next part, that is 0 till 2, right? So I will get both of them. So it is giving me an error here because I cannot go ahead and do this. So let's solve this out. So you see there is an error. So as I am coding, there will be error as well. So I am explaining you what exactly that error is. So if you will read out the error, it says type error, integer object is not subscriptable, right? So it means that the data that we are providing is integer and we cannot do a slicing in an integer. So what you need to do is you need to have this in a string format, right? Then only you can use the slicing operator. So if I do this and I run, it's giving me, see, for the country code it's +44 and for this it is 44, right? So what you can do is you can go ahead and get +44, or you can get it from 1 to get just the country code, right? Or you can do another way using the find, because this we are hard coding it, right? So instead of hard coding, what I will do is I will find where exactly is my hyphen coming. So this will give me the first hyphen. Okay, for the phone number, the first hyphen is coming the 3, and for the second, the hyphen is coming in the 2, right? So let me go ahead and type this for phone 2. Phone 2. This is 3 and this is 2. So instead of hard coding this particular value, what I can do is I can go ahead and replace this particular thing, that is the 3, with this particular value. Similarly, for 2, I can go ahead and start with this. So you see, both the results are same now. I can go ahead and remove the hard code value and make it basically dynamic. So this is how you can do a find functionality. So there are two ways, either slicing, or if in case you want to remove the hard coding, you can find the hyphen and then replace it with that hard coded value with the dynamic value. Now, the next topic that we have covered so many topics. So the next topic that we have is basically the validation. So if in case you have this particular phone number, let's say, in this phone number, we need to validate whether it is alpha or it is numeric, right? So let's say I will do print and I will do phone dot is alpha, okay? So it means it should have only alphabets. So if I see here, it says it is false because it's not only alphabets, it's have the numbers as well. So let me do is, if I go ahead and type is alphanumeric, right? And let me enter this. So you will see that it is not alphanumeric, okay? Now let me go ahead and see here. I'll just remove it. So I'm just showing you what all functionalities you can actually use here. So is digit, this is also one method. It is going to give you false. So let's say if I go ahead and do a phone here, and I will go ahead and remove the plus and hyphen, right? Now let's execute this. Now you see it is alpha. No, it's not alpha because it is number. Is alphanumeric? Yes, because it has numbers in it. Is digit? Yes, it is having the digit, right? So this is how you do it. And let's say there is one more method that is numeric. So let's see if in case it shows me is underscore is, it's not giving me here. So we have is numeric. So it should give me that it has only numbers. So it is true, right? So this is all that we have, that is alphanumeric, is digit, and is numeric method. So in this we have covered about the validation as well, how you can do it. You have learned so many things here, starting with the string indexing, slicing, how to find, how to search, how to go ahead and replace the function, how to go ahead and trim if in case there is any spaces, and how to see the length of it, how to count how many characters are there or how many words are coming. What is a list? We have given a little bit of brief about it. We will discuss it in a very in depth, right? So if you will see, we have covered so many things here. So I've just noted it down. So let's go through it one by one. So the length we have covered, the count we have covered, and then we have covered the replace functionality, the type functionality, and all this out, right? So if you have any doubts, put it in the comment section. I'd be glad to help you out. And if you face any problem, then also put it in the comment. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. And do not forget to watch the complete interview playlist as well, which is related to PySpark if you are preparing for data engineering roles. So I hope you like the video, and till the next video, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.